Hey there guys, it's your boy Phil the Bandicoot Noah Hart here, and I am back with another video. And it's a little different now. I'm actually recording a video in the daytime, which is very surprising. I'm usually recording when it's nighttime, but it's actually got some light in here, so the video will actually look pretty decent. Anyhow, I want to apologize to anybody that followed my picks or whatever. I did not expect it to be a day race. I really was hoping it would be a night race when it got rained out, and I knew for the second when Dale Jr. said in the broadcast booth, "Man, I really wish the Clash was ran in the daytime like the old time." I knew exactly when Dale Jr. said that and it was raining and the chances of getting the race in was really bleak that we were going to see a day race. I don't know why we didn't hold off and have a night race right after qualifying, but that's besides the point. A lot of people have been complaining about how the cars drive in the races and how you can't really make passes or whatever when you get in the lead, but I actually thought the racing was pretty fun to watch and entertaining, and I thought the finish was really good and the racing was good. I didn't really like how a lot of guys in the back, I was really annoyed with some of the drivers like Kyle Larson and Jamie McMurray just racing so hard with each other in the rear of the field. And I'm sitting there on the edge of my seat like, "McMurray, get out of the way! Like, push Johnson! Get over to the front! What are you doing?" I had a little bit of a moment there. I was really aggravated of how everyone was racing each other and not trying to form a group up and go after them guys. Because with this kind of racing this weekend, we're not going to see a lot of passes for the lead. You're going to, if the guy can easily just play both sides of the lane and they'll stay in the lead just as long as they play both sides. You got to get a group going and pushing hard and actually making a run. You can't just be passing each other, running side by side. You're not gonna get anywhere. I thought the racing was actually really fun to watch. There was a lot of three-wide racing that was really close together, and you could get a run on people if they were lined up, but there was just some people that would just race you hard and just would not work with you. And it was very aggravating for a fan to be watching, and you want that guy to get up there and pass for the lead. You want them guys to get racing. But them drivers, they couldn't do anything with everyone just racing each other. So what we can expect for the rest of the weekend, for the duels, we're going to see the leader really have a great advantage. And teammates are going to be a big factor. You saw it with the Gibbs cars. You saw it with Penske cars. You're going to see it with Stewart-Haas. You're going to see it with Hendrick. You're going to probably see it with RCR as well. Anybody. I mean, teammates are going to be a big factor, and even guys that aren't even teammates, you're just going to have to really work hard with each other. And honestly, you're going to need to really make some strategy calls, and being able to be up front is a very key factor because it's so hard to pass. We saw it with Brad Keselowski. Brad Keselowski, ever since he got that penalty in the shootout, ever since Brad Keselowski got that penalty under the caution flag on lap 25, for the rest of the Clash, Keselowski struggled so bad to get back to the front, and he's got a great car, and that's going to happen with anybody. If you got a good car, it's going to be hard to get up to the front. And for the whole race, I mean, anybody that hangs in the back of the field, I know we've seen Kevin Harvick hang in the back of the field. We saw Ryan Newman hang in the back of the field. I mean, I've personally seen Ryan Newman in a lot of the super speedway races just hang in the rear of the field. I'm not sure if that's going to happen in these races because of the new format where you have to race for points. But you can't make some strategy calls that is going to put you in the rear of the field. You got to be on your game and actually try and be near the front, because if you get shuffled back to 20th or so, you're going to have a tough time getting back to the front. And we've seen that with a lot of drivers. For the rest of the weekend, I haven't even seen the qualifying. It's supposed to be coming on in like 5 minutes as I'm recording this video. But for the rest of the weekend, you can expect the Gibbs cars to be really good. Hendrick's going to have to really work hard all weekend, or not even all weekend. They're going to have to work Hendrick's going to have to work all week on their cars to make sure they don't spin out. I mean, Elliott, Jr., and Johnson all have had loose problems. I mean, Hendrick cars in the super speedway races have always been super loose, and it's no difference here. It's always off turn forward. There's a transition off the banking to go really flat, and the cars, they just get really loose off turn 4 and even off turn 2, but it's mainly turn 4, and they're gonna have to really fix the setup for the Hendrick cars if they want to be any competitive. I'm sure they'll get it fixed up and they'll be somewhat competitive. I mean, we saw Alex Bowman be the best driver in the Clash, so Junior's car looks fine, but I mean, you gotta worry a little bit about maybe all the Hendrick cars being sort of set up the same way, that maybe it could happen again, so they had to fix the handling issue. It's going to be really hard to beat the Toyotas of the Gibbs bunch and the Furniture Road team, and honestly, I think Stewart-Haas and Penske's got something for them. I think they can be a great dominance force when it comes down to the end of the Daytona 500 and all speed weeks. They're going to be pretty strong, so I think the Fords look good. The Chevy team, they didn't look as good in the Clash, but they can get there. They can get there, but honestly, it's going to be the Gibbs cars running the show again this week, and they're going to be hard to beat for the Daytona 500. And you need to try and be out front, and you need drivers that can look like they're going to be good cars, and they are fast cars that can stay up front. So, drivers to look out for the rest of this week: Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano, Martin Truex Jr., maybe even Eric Jones, Daniel Suarez, Matt Kenseth, Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin. All of them are going to look strong. Kevin Harvick's going to be good. Clint Bowyer has been really quick. I want to say don't give up on Kyle Larson. Larson was a really a miss in the Clash. I expected him to do better, but he was a hit or miss. He's always been a hit or miss driver, and he was completely off in the Clash for me. I expect him to do better in the Daytona 500 and all through Speedweeks. Don't count out Dale Jr. I think Dale Earnhardt Jr. is going to give him a run for his money, but I really am worried about the Hendrick cars. Chase Elliott, I expect to do a little bit better. Maybe Jimmy Johnson. Kurt Busch and Austin Dillon are going to be wild cards. You watch. They are going to be down in the top 10 in the final stages of the Daytona 500. Austin Dillon and Kurt Busch have surprised me. And I know Kurt Busch wrecked in the Clash, but Austin Dillon and Kurt Busch always find their way sitting up there in the top 10 late in the run of these super speedway races, and I don't expect it to change. I expect Austin Dillon to be challenging for the win of the Daytona 500. Austin Dillon's always been so good on the super speedway races, and we might see the 3-car win the Daytona 500. You do not want to count out Austin Dillon. Anybody that has a good car can run well. You just need to stay up front. We're going to be seeing a lot of the leader playing both sides and leading a lot of laps. The driver that gets out front is going to lead a lot of laps. Teammates are going to be a big factor. That's why the Gibbs cars, the Furniture Road team, and the Penske and the Stewart-Haas guys, they looked really good. That's going to be a dominant force this week, and you better be prepared for them guys, because that's the team you got to look out for. Stewart-Haas, Penske, Furniture Road, and Gibbs. They're gonna, one of them four, I want to probably make a bet on it. One of them four probably are going to win the Daytona 500. One of them 4 teams are probably going to win the Daytona 500. If not, it's going to be either Hendrick or RCR, maybe even Wood Brothers. So it's going to be hit or miss, maybe Ganassi. So the Daytona 500 is going to be interesting. The Clash was a good race. For anyone that thought that maybe the Clash was a terrible race, it was not. It was a good race. I enjoyed watching it, and it was an exciting race. Yeah, you maybe had Brad Keselowski dominating the first half. Yeah, you probably had the Gibbs cars running the race, but it takes teamwork to break that up. And Joey Logano, Brad Keselowski, Kevin Harvick, they got up there. They muscled their way up to the front, and Logano and Keselowski did it. They muscled their way to the front. And my thoughts on that last lap: Denny Hamlin did what he had to do. Brad Keselowski did what he had to do. And I'm applaud NASCAR for not throwing the yellow when Denny Hamlin spun. There was no reason to throw the yellow, and I'm glad they did not throw the yellow for that. When Joey Logano passed on the outside, I knew it was all him, but for anyone that maybe complained that maybe Bowman didn't push Busch and that thing that started with them, like that they got racing and everything, there was just no way, even if they did push, that they were going to get up to Joey Logano. Logano had a good car all by himself, and he was already 2 out in front, so he was going to win the race. Keselowski had the run, Hamlin blocked him. I mean, you gotta make that move to block, and Keselowski had to make that move to block. It was a good finish, it was a good race, and we're gonna expect races all like that through the week, and I thought it was good racing. So, I'll see you in the next video, and maybe we'll actually do good on the next fantasy picks, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, guys.